Hey everyone, it's Michael GoosebumpsFan. I hope you're doing well today. I just watched the episode adaptation for the first time ever for a book that I just read for the first time ever from the classic series of Goosebumps. This is, it came from Beneath the Sink, which is number 30 of the original series. Cool cover, cool 1950s throwback title, like I talked about in my review for the book that I uploaded before this video. And I looked around through my different DVDs, the official DVD releases here in the United States, and I can't find any that have "It Came From Beneath the Sink" on them. Or, yeah, my DVD... What in the world? Yeah, on my actual DVD I'm about to show you, it said it came from the Beneath the Kitchen Sink. I knew the title sounded weird. Anyway, so, the actual episode is called "It Came From Beneath the Sink." I watched it on a bootleg. I couldn't find it on any of my regular official release DVDs, but this bootleg of the entire series on two different box sets that look just like this, you know, I've got these, and it's the whole show. It ain't perfect. I'd rather have a really nice release, but that ain't happening probably the way the US works and the way Fox works now that it's owned by Disney. I can't get anything that I want. Anyway, this episode was bad. it was not good. This is Season 1, Episode 14. Let's see. Right before the Say Cheese and Die episode, as a matter of fact. This one's directed by a fellow named David Winning, and this is the only Goosebumps episode he ever directed, which is very odd to me. I expected at least one or two other episodes with this guy. I think there's only like two different directors that ever worked for Goosebumps, the TV show, that did like one episode and never came back. And I think David Winning did the best with what he had for resources and budget. It's a very, very low-budget Goosebumps filler episode. But I think he did his best with what he had, and I think he tried to make the best of what he had. And there's some good things in here, but most of it I would say is kind of bland or bad. Looking at the cast, it kind of surprised me. I kept thinking I knew the little girl, the main character girl from here. And it turns out that's Catherine Isabel, which shocked the crap out of me. Let me read you some things that you probably know that she's been in. Okay, so she's Ginger in Ginger Snaps. She is Mary Mason in American Mary. She's Gib, the one, I think it's the girl with the hat, in Freddy vs. Jason, which I love that movie. Plays a character named Tanya in the Christopher Nolan Insomnia movie. Let's see, she's in that new animated Night of the Living Dead remake, or whatever you want to call it. Let's see... What else? There was something else. Bad Times at L something. I forgot. It's that newer movie that came out recently. Rookie Blue. She was on the Hannibal TV show. See No Evil 2, which I have not seen. I love the original See No Evil. She was on the Psych TV show. She was on a lot of stuff, dude. Supernatural. She was in Rampage. I really like Rampage a lot. I think that she's probably the best actress in this episode, but she was also a little kid. You know, so it's like, it doesn't surprise me. She's one of the ones that no one talked about the success of this actress. You know, everybody talks about, like, Ryan Gosling going from Say Cheese and Die the very next episode to his massive career and being such a loved, you know, character actor, like with Drive. Drive is my favorite Ryan Gosling film, followed by The Notebook. He's amazing in that. But It Came From Beneath the Sink is not one of my favorite books, is the nicest way I can put it. As you guys might know if you saw my review for the book that I just uploaded, I was not thrilled. It was a very bland, plotless type of book, and the ending just solidified not liking it even more. And I'm very disappointed with it, just like I'm disappointed with this episode. I do think this episode is not the worst episode I've ever seen of the show, but it's kind of in that bottom 5 or so episodes, I would say, possibly. Maybe I'm not remembering some other stuff that I saw that was even worse crap, but this is not one of my favorites, personally. I'm just not obsessed with it like I thought I would be. Yeah, it's a big old miss, frankly. Where do we even start with this? I guess I'll just start with the plot. Essentially, you have a brother and sister and their parents and their dog that move into a new house, and they're not too far away from the old neighborhood they lived in. Apparently they're not even like 8 minutes away. The little boy, the young brother, has a best friend named Carlo who rides his bike over to this house. Apparently he got there within like 10 minutes, so why would you even bother moving like 10 minutes away? Maybe a different school zone? I don't know. They didn't get into that. But I don't get it. I know one guy that I work with that years ago he actually had the neighbor house emptied out, those people left, and he wanted to move into that house, so he and his wife bought that house, and they moved literally from the house right next door to that house next door. Yeah. Why? Why? Anyway, that's just me nitpicking about other people's choices. Anyway, so it came from beneath the sink. These kids move into this new house, and they find a sponge, at least the main girl finds a sponge underneath this sink when she's hearing all these noises. Catherine Isabel gets scared by the sponge. It has teeth and eyes, and it growls at her and stuff. It's a little bit different from the sponge from the book. The sponge in the book does not have teeth for a very particular reason. And that sponge monster is kind of the force that we're fighting against in this episode. And in the book, too. Now, the puppet that they use, I don't want to even say puppet, but the thing that they use as a practical effect for this is they literally just made a puppet out of a sponge. They literally took a sponge, like an actual kitchen sponge, like you'd wash your car with, and they put like fake teeth and glowing eye effects on it with some really bad 90s CGI. Yeah, it's bad. It's a really ugly looking practical effect that just sucks. It looks like Creature from the, or what is it, that Creature from the Sea? Not Creature from the Black Lagoon, but that movie Creature from the Bottom of the Sea or whatever. It's a really old, terrible black and white horror movie, and the monster's so goofy. You can actually see that monster in the intro credits to Malcolm in the Middle. It reminded me of that kind of practical effect, where it's not even worth throwing out how the benefit of a practical effect can be for this. And compared to what's in the later part of the episode, another little reveal we get later in the episode, I can't tell it to you because this is a spoiler-free review, the practical effect at the end of the episode is phenomenal. It looks excellent. It looks so good, all the budget went to that. All the budget for this episode went to that thing. The sponge that's our main front and center monster this entire episode looks like Dollar Tree stuff. You know, it's garbage. It's flat out garbage. It's kind of a shame, too. The directing is fine on this episode. A lot of it is just, you know, like puppet sponge monster at the bottom of a long curtain they're using to pretend it's underneath a bed, and like the sheets hanging over the side of the bed, you know? But this monster, I don't want to tell you too much about what it is, because I don't want to spoil it for you. If you've read the book, you know a lot about what it is already. It's pretty much the same entity that we had in the book. This creature brings bad luck, apparently. So it doesn't like, even though it has teeth, which it not having teeth and doing the things it did with your luck in the book made sense. In this book, you would think, well, if it has teeth, why doesn't it just hurt you? Why doesn't it just bite you or anything like that? We never get any example of that. It makes no sense for this thing to have teeth. It's just to make it look more threatening, which is dumb, because it's a killer sponge, which is dumb, you know? I've never seen this episode before, like I mentioned earlier. I'm kind of glad I didn't, because it would have really soured my feelings for Goosebumps in a lot of ways, because I grew up on the TV show more so than anything else, particularly Haunted Mask 1 and 2, Not a Living Dummy 1, Bride of the Living Dummy. Those were the big episodes that I grew up on. I didn't see anything like Cuckoo Clock of Doom, or I think I had the chance to rent Night in Terror Tower at Hollywood Video years ago, and I don't think I actually watched it. I think I just saw it like on TV when Cartoon Network, you know, bought a bunch of Goosebumps episodes and started rerunning them non-stop. Yeah, this is a big old miss of an episode. It's not as bad as the book, but it has some really stupid crap in it. For example, at one point, the kids are trying to break into a school to try to get the sponge because of something they found out that I won't spoil for you. And there's a janitor. There's a janitor walking around. And this part's not in the book, which was interesting. So I thought, okay, well, they're going to improve on the ending, because the book, I didn't like the ending of. I thought the ending of the book was really, really bad. It kind of ruined that bland feeling I already had with most of the book. At least I was able to be engaged and read it, even though it wasn't the best. The ending kind of just made it feel like I wasted my time. You know what I mean? I felt kind of pissed about that when I reviewed it earlier today. And the thing that gets me is that the episode started going to this whole break inside of the school thing, and I was kind of excited about that because I was like, they're going to change the ending. They did not really change the ending all that much, but there's one part where they go into the school and we keep cutting away between the kids to the janitor that's walking around. It's kind of a high stakes, like, don't get caught by the janitor, you know what I mean? It's in literally everything. The janitor has his headphones in, and he is actively out loud singing "You Are My Sunshine." You know, I have a lot of nostalgic feelings for that song. I have memories of my sweet, sweet, passed away grandmother singing those songs, or that song, to me when I was growing up, as well as other things. And Goosebumps had to kill that too. You know? They had to ruin that. This janitor, when I started hearing him singing "You Are My Sunshine," it just kind of ruined my day a little bit. It was like, why? You know, in other aspects, I would have been like, oh, well, that's sweet. I get to hear the song my grandmother sang to me. No, that's not how I felt. That's not how I felt watching this. Seeing a grown man walking around in a school who has to work around children and clean a school and whatnot, singing "You Are My Sunshine" as a grown man to himself in his own private time. No one else is in the school. You could have listened to death metal. You could have listened to anything you wanted to listen to. You could have listened to some AC/DC, whatever you wanted to listen to, my friend, and you're listening to "You Are My Sunshine." That's the creepiest thing Goosebumps has ever done. Anyway, it was gross and weird, and I get how it played into the ending. I get the whole setup thing. I get that, but it was creepier than what the episode had to offer. You know, creeps that work in a school are creepier than creepy sponges, you know? So I was a little bit put off with all that. Anyway, so the sponge looks so bad. I don't even have words for it. It's just dumb. It looks dumb. It sounds dumb with the effects for the monster growl and stuff they have for it. The CGI red eyes look dumb too. And the ending is debatably worse than the book's ending. It's the same type of ending, the same kind of ending, the same kind of solution, but it's just straight up, like, possibly worse because of the execution of it. I'm just kind of dumbfounded. A lot of the time, the TV episodes will kind of fix the books that have bad endings. A lot of the time they will, frankly. And this is a great example of one that does not. I'm fairly certain they showed a Goosebumps episode on one of the TV shows that the kids were watching. I think Carlo and the brother were watching some kind of TV show episode thing. Some kind of scary movie is what it was supposed to be. It was like a monster hiding in like the woods. I don't know if that was the creature from Welcome to Camp Nightmare or not, but there was some kind of monster that I know it looked like a Goosebumps TV show that they were watching. So I don't know what that was or where it came from. There were some other goofy things in here that happened that didn't seem like they were entirely intentional. One of the worst lines I've seen in Goosebumps yet was in this, where they see the sponge, all the kids do, together with Catherine Isabel. And the little fella, Carlo, the best friend, he says, "Now this is better than the X-Files." You know, Goosebumps, I watched you at the same time I watched X-Files when I was growing up. You're not better than X-Files. I get the joke, I get the jab. But no, don't even bring up X-Files in this, because X-Files is a billion times better than Goosebumps will ever be, in my opinion. No, don't say that. don't bring X-Files into this giant sponge monster mess of an episode. Anyway, that's really all I have to say about this piece of crap episode. It came from beneath the sink. I don't like it. I think the book is bad too. I don't know which one I think is worse, frankly. I think that it's possible that the episode is relatively watchable, but I don't think it's good, and I think that the book itself has nothing to offer. But the episode has some stupid things to offer. You ever thought that something could be extremely stupid and disappointing versus extremely bland and disappointing? That's kind of the difference you're fighting here, that you're kind of finding amongst these two. I think I like the episode more. I think. I don't know, but I think. The book was bland. The episode was stupid and fun stupid, you know? Anyway, When it comes to it came from beneath the sink. I can't even get the title right. I don't care enough to even try to get it right. If I had to rate this one on a 5-star basis, I'd give it like a 2 out of 5 stars, just like I did with the book. It's just so dumb. So dumb. It's a filler episode for a filler book that had no excitement to it, no build up to it, not the greatest cover, not the greatest title. It was a mess. Anyway, what are your thoughts on It Came From Beneath the Sink? Were you surprised to see Catherine Isabel in this? Were you excited to see the very good practical effect at the very end of the episode? What did you think was the best part of the episode? Put all that down in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear what you have to say about it, because I want other people to make fun of this with me. Anyway, thank you for watching, guys. What do you like better, the book or the episode? I'd like to hear all that down below, too. Thank you for watching. God bless you. Goodbye.